welcome to today's explainer. So just picture this for a second. You've just sat down in your home office, you've got your coffee in hand, and you are ready to tackle your inbox. But then that thought hits you. How do you actually make sure your messages sound polite rather than, demanding? How do you flip a blunt "I want" into a smooth, professional "I would appreciate it if"? Well, today we're learning highly practical, modern English that you can literally use immediately in the real world. And the best part? We're completely skipping all that boring, robotic corporate jargon. We're going to master the exact vocabulary, the phrases, and the subtle tones that will help you confidently communicate in absolutely any English-speaking workplace.
We have absolutely all been there, right? Staring at that blinking cursor, especially when you're trying to communicate in a second language, can be surprisingly stressful. It's a tricky balance. You want to be polite, but not stiff. You want to be direct, but definitely not rude. Nailing the right tone is a bit of a delicate balancing act, but honestly, it is a skill that anyone can learn. Okay, let's dive into this and look at why mastering this specific skill is so incredibly vital to your daily success.
Let's think about a pretty crazy number: 120. Research shows that the average professional gets around 120 emails every single day. To put that into perspective, they're spending about 11 hours a week just sorting through them. With that much digital noise going on, busy people are just skimming messages. Because of this, your absolute best tool for getting a fast, helpful response is clear, concise, and well-structured communication. If your email is a chore to read or the tone feels off, it might just get ignored entirely.
So how do we make sure our message doesn't get lost in the shuffle? We rely on a consistent anatomy. It's like a simple formula. It flows naturally from a clear subject line right down into a professional salutation, which is just your greeting. From there, you move into the body where your main message lives, wrap it all up with a polite conclusion, and finally sign off with your signature. This plug-and-play foundation organizes your thoughts so effortlessly and makes life incredibly easy for your reader.
Let's step right into our first real-world scenario. Imagine you're starting your morning workflow, maybe from a really nice modern cafe or a hybrid workspace, and you need to reach out to a brand new client or a colleague. Those very first words they read, they set the tone for your entire professional relationship, and that all starts with your greeting. Listen to the difference between casual and professional greetings here. Informal options like "Hi there" or "Hey" are fantastic for a quick chat with a close coworker, but they're just way too casual for external emails. Instead, using "Dear" combined with a name or a title like "Dear James" or "Dear Mr. Bond" is absolutely your safest bet. It establishes immediate respect with new contacts, people in authority, or whenever you're making a formal inquiry.
Right after your greeting, it's always a polite move to open with a warm, general inquiry before you dive straight into business. I hope this message finds you well is a total classic. It's a highly professional opening line, it subtly shows that you respect the person on the other side of the screen, and it helps build immediate rapport before you ask for anything.
Once you've said hello, it's time to state your purpose. Basically, why are you writing? Notice how a really simple vocabulary shift effortlessly elevates your whole tone. If you change "I'm emailing about" to "I am writing to inquire about," it makes your message sound incredibly polished and educated without being overly complex or wordy. It gets right to the point while maintaining total professionalism.
Now, a lot of the time, your emails aren't starting from scratch, right? You're actually continuing a conversation. Imagine you're at your co-working space, quickly responding to a client's earlier message. Saying "Thank you for your email regarding" is polite and direct. Or if you just spoke on the phone recently, you can easily say "Further to our conversation yesterday." And if you desperately need a reply they haven't sent yet, a gentle "just following up on" works perfectly to remind them politely, without sounding impatient or pushy.
I love this concept. Think of your language as having a built-in tone slider, kind of like a volume dial. When you need someone to do a task for you, tone is quite literally everything. Asking, "Can you send me the report?" feels almost like a blunt demand. But if you slide that tone right into the professional zone by adding two simple words, "Could you please send me the report?" it instantly transforms a demand into a respectful, neutral, and highly professional request. Now, what if you're making a much more significant request? Maybe you're asking for a massive favor, or asking someone to prioritize your project over their own work. In that case, you want to slide that tone even further into the formal zone. "I would be extremely grateful if you could" is a fantastic, highly polite phrase. It completely softens your demand into a deep professional courtesy, making it really hard for the recipient to say no. So, here's a handy toolbox of excellent request phrases you can use every single day. For a basic, neutral request, "I'd appreciate it if" is great. But what if a deadline is rapidly approaching?
Use "I would appreciate your prompt response on." Using these kinds of stems ensures the recipient feels respected. And remember, when people feel respected rather than ordered around, they are so much more likely to speed up their reply to you.
All right, let's shift gears for a second and look at offering assistance. Professional communication isn't just about asking for things. It's about providing information clearly, too. Phrases like, "I am pleased to update you on," or "Should you need any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me," demonstrate immense helpfulness. These are exactly the kinds of phrases that prove you have phenomenal collaboration skills, especially when you're working in a modern remote team. Eventually, the tables turn and you will be the one responding to requests. If you've got good news to share, I am happy to inform you that is a wonderfully professional opening. But what if you have to say no? You never ever want to burn a professional bridge. By starting with, "Unfortunately, at this moment, we are unable to," you deliver that negative news gracefully and respectfully, which helps maintain a positive relationship for the future.
Let's transition over to a super common workday scenario, scheduling. When you need to set up a digital conference call or maybe an in-person meeting with a collaborator, arrange a meeting is a vital phrase to master. By writing, "I would like to arrange a meeting to discuss," you are being incredibly clear. It states the exact purpose right up front, and it kicks off the scheduling process seamlessly.
Okay, so once a meeting is verbally agreed upon, you absolutely must lock it in. These phrases are essential for confirming your arrangements. "I would just like to confirm the details of the meeting that we arranged." It's just perfect for this. Why do we bother doing this? Because confirming arrangements in writing avoids those messy, frustrating scheduling misunderstandings. And by helpfully adding, "Please check your schedules to see if there are any conflicts," you're being highly accommodating to their valuable time.
So, the crucial point here is how you actually structure these requests. Research from the MIT Communication Lab highlights the major danger of the buried request. If you put paragraphs of background context first and hide your actual meeting request at the very end, a busy reader might honestly just miss it entirely. Instead, use a purpose-first structure. State your request for a meeting right at the top and put the context down below. Busy professionals are so much more likely to respond when they know exactly what you want within the first 3 seconds of reading.
As we reach the end of our email anatomy, we really need a strong conclusion. "I look forward to hearing from you soon" is basically the gold standard closing phrase. It's a brilliant, highly polite way to signal to the recipient that the ball is now in their court. You are respectfully letting them know that you expect them to take action and actually reply. And finally, the last puzzle pieces for closing out your email, the sign-off. Choosing the right closing leaves a really lasting impression of competence. Things like "best regards," "sincerely," and "warm regards" are very safe, highly professional choices. Now, if you've asked someone to do a task for you, "Thank you in advance for your cooperation" is a wonderfully polite way to wrap things up while subtly reinforcing the request. Just ensure you write it with a warm tone so it reads as truly appreciative. Well, now it's your turn to put these new skills into practice. I challenge you to write a short, professional email in the comments below, making sure to use at least one phrase we learned today. Whether you're confirming a meeting or making a polite request, let's see those brand new vocabulary skills in action. If you found this explainer helpful for navigating your workplace communication, please do like, share, and subscribe to The English Effect. Here is a final thought to leave you with today. How many opportunities have you potentially missed out on just because your emails didn't strike the right professional tone? Let's fix that, starting right now.